been there. Okay. Oh, shoot. Sorry, guys. I'm trying to get this situated. Trying. Bear with me, my friends. Just trying to do this. Oh, gosh. Alright. I bought this new thing for the car. It's not working. Hold on. See, you guys can see it. It's not working. And I wanted to talk about... let's see if I can move this. Maybe this will work better from here, from this angle. Okay, so hi everybody. As you see, I titled this, you know, have any family court judges harmed your families? And I would like you guys to hop on. If you want, feel free to hop on. Sorry, I'm getting messages. Hope you guys are doing well today. Hello, David. How are you? So my question to any of you, if you want to hop on, you can come on and talk. I already know the answer, but I would like people out there to hear different people talk. Because I posted something, I think it was yesterday. And as you guys probably know, hi Vicky, there were 3 mothers murdered in the past week. One of them in Staten Island was burned unrecognizably. She was burned unrecognizably. When I researched it, she already had a protection order. She was afraid of her ex. He had her son, and they were going to do a custody exchange, and he and his girlfriend premeditated this murder and killed her. The other one is probably right below this live feed right here. And hey, you want to come say hi? Come here, come say hi. Come say hi, Wesley. This is Wesley. The other one, he shot her point blank at a police station, right? You probably heard that one, right, guys? And then there was a third, and I think it was in Ohio. And so, of course, I got different people saying different things, and I like to articulate what I say, and I like to say what I have to say with an understanding out there so that people that watch what we do understand what's really going on. It's my personal opinion. It's my personal belief that all judges should be held accountable for everything that happens within a family court system. And the reason I say that is because false allegations, they take as evidence. I've been falsely accused. Women have been falsely accused. Mothers have been falsely accused. Witnesses have been falsely accused and berated. Fathers have been falsely accused. Fathers have been berated. Fathers have had to pay exorbitant amounts of child support, and they never see their kids. This happens, right? Am I wrong? Am I wrong? So one of the things I talk about often, let me pull over here so I have good signal. This is too important to lose signal. Pull over here. One of the things I say often is women that are true victims, not these women that I've seen the videos. You're not showing me anything I don't know. I've seen the video of the lunatic beating herself up with a hammer. I would like to have some moms come on right now, because I know a lot of really nice moms that don't have any kind of a record at all. They've never done anything wrong. And I know lots of them all over the country, not just in, one or two random women. I know all over the place that have fled from an abuser, a real abuser, and were completely ignored and lost their children. Okay, I see it all the time. I know plenty of fathers out there that pay exorbitant amounts of child support. The abusive ones usually don't pay any child support. Mothers that escape from abusive fathers don't waste their time in family court trying to get child support from them. They just want to be free and protected. That's all they want. That's the genuine cases. It's not always like that, okay? I'm not saying there's not a rule to everything, right? But in my opinion, and I think that my opinion should count, because I've been deemed an expert several times. I've done an awful lot in the past 11 and a half years. I have accreditation. I have my own licensed nonprofit. I've sat in, I can't even count how many court appearances where I've either been, what do you call it? A court watch or a court witness throughout the country. I've been on conference calls with judges with pertaining to cases. I'm a best-selling author. I'm not saying this to toot my horn in any way. I just have enough experience and background that I can smell a rat. And I don't see a fairness in a system. I don't see a fairness in a system where a person should be labeled a judge and should judge your families and get it wrong most of the time. Almost all the time, right? Somebody hop on here if you have something to say. I want to hear your stories. Let people hear your stories. Did you falsely accuse anyone and lose your children? Did you falsely accuse anyone and lose your children? Because that's not the norm. That's not the norm. If you falsely accuse somebody and you don't have ample evidence, a lot of times that person continues to harm their victim. Okay? Their victim is a person that is being falsely accused. That makes them a victim. This twisting and this distortion of truth is what causes people to be harmed. And the system itself harms people because it operates out of false allegations, right? But when you have real victims, and they're all over the place, real victims deserve respect. Real victims, like I deal with all the time, I deal with the abused victims, the truly abused, not the fake, the truly abused children. I deal with it. I see it. I know firsthand, like physically, like this, like I'm holding this dog right now. I deal with these people face to face, inside their cases, at their courthouses, or what have you, at their hospitals. I see their physical abuse and their records, and I see the abuser and and what's happened. I've seen children being given to abusers. This is happening. Does that negate in any way, shape, or form? Think about this flip of this. Please hear what I'm saying and understand what I'm talking about. And I'm going to break this down to make this simple because I think it's urgently important that we all get this in order for mothers and fathers to fight together. And I'm talking about innocent people, not talking about criminals. Okay, innocent families that are trying to fight this system, right? Does somebody being a genuine abuser negate the innocent father that's not an abuser's character? No. No different than when there's a woman out there that beats herself with a hammer to blame somebody and pretend that they did that to them. Okay? I don't know women like that, so I know nice women. But somebody that does something so insane, does that negate the fact that there are women that are really abused by abusive type men, right? So if you've got abusive type women out there, it should not negate the innocent father. Am I right? Am I right about that? And if you've got abusive men out there, it should not negate the character of an innocent father. If you have women out there that beat themselves with a hammer, it should not negate the innocence of a good woman, as no different than a person that abuses women should negate the victimness of an innocent person. Does that make sense, what I'm saying? Okay. Now you've got groups on both sides, and you've got groups in the millions. You've got groups in the millions, not in the thousands, not in the hundreds. You've got groups, mothers and fathers groups, in the millions on both sides. Okay, and both groups are powerful in and of themselves. Whether that's a good power or a bad power, that's to be questioned. That's to be questioned, because you've got a mix of people. You've got abusers on both sides. Okay, hear me now. I might not make some friends right now, but that's okay. I'm going to say the truth. You have abusers on both sides. So abusers will gravitate to the women's groups that are abusing men, and abusers will gravitate to the men's group that are abusing women. Okay? Let's talk smart. Let's talk logical. Let's talk about the real issues so we can stop this system. Isn't that what we're trying to do? Aren't we trying to abolish this criminal system? Aren't we trying to stop it? Who hurts in the long run? Innocent families, good families, just genuine people that are not criminals, are not domestic violent perpetrators. They're not drug dealers or drug addicts or out there shooting and thugging and all this stuff. We can't compare, for example, Chicago shootings to everything to a family court matter, because you're dealing with people who are drugging and thugging in the streets, right? So we don't even know if family court is a part of that, which probably there is some degree of family court a part of that, right? I would have to say there's probably some degree of CPS a part of that. But I don't believe that that's all based in this, what we do here. Now, when you go to the percentile of people in the family courts, we got to talk about the percentile within the family courts, because you have the arms of the courts, which are CPS, Child Predator Services, and CASA, and police, and different aspects that are arms of the court that grab people that never would normally go to a family court, and they're now bringing them in. They're bringing them in through false allegations in different ways, right? And they're using you as mothers and fathers to perpetrate these crimes. Or they're using you to turn against each other to perpetrate their crimes, to continue to bring them money. Now, when you see something like supervised visitation, they're already getting money galore. They're getting it from the taxpayer, and they're getting it from all the federal funding sources. Everybody on Facebook talks about 4D and 4E. Well, I'm glad you learned something, but it's not enough. There are a bunch of federal funding sources. It's not just those two. There's tons of federal funding sources in the trillions of dollars. Trillions, okay? Then they're charging these poor families, whether you have money or you don't, they're charging these families for supervised visitation. Now, every state has state laws of what termination of rights should be, but you don't see those parents being terminated, those type. What you're seeing is now you're seeing therapeutic visitation. Now we're going to do therapeutic visitation with the abusive types. Okay, we're going to do therapeutic visitation with the mother who puts a heroin needle in her arm and she's hanging there. We're going to therapeutic that one. We're going to therapeutic the dad who beats the shit out of the woman in front of the children. We're going to do therapeutic there. Because they don't care about the kids. They care about bringing and generating in more money, because it's never enough money on the backs of your families and your children. Real talk here. I don't play. Real talk. Real talk. Let's get real to the bottom. Fighting each other. 2 years ago, I came into this Facebook world part of all that I do, and I started merging the gap between fathers and mothers to work together. Did I not? And it worked. And we pulled out some of the lies that are told. Okay, and we articulated the truth about, we have pseudo-junk sciences that are not real science, not real social science. You have to do the research. You have to understand that there are different categorizations of social science that have done in-depth research on the detrimental effects that happen to children and families. You, as well as mom and dad, things are happening to you in your psyche and in your emotions that robs you from your beautiful life that God gave you. Okay, robs your children and robs our children's children and our future generations. This is why I do what I do. This is why I do this exhausting work day in and day out, because I'm so worried about our country. I'm worried about our families. I want to make it clear to people. The truth makes us free, right? The truth has to be told. Fighting mothers and fathers is not the answer. Pointing a finger at a mother who's been murdered, saying, oh, she probably did this to the father. No, that's never right. Unless we know for sure, we don't do that. We respect and honor that murdered mother, that murdered sister, that murdered daughter. No, we don't say something like that, and I don't like it, and I'm going to admonish for seeing some of that stuff. No different than we see the dad and we don't call him a deadbeat because he's not with his kids, or because he's drained financially because some woman lied about him. We don't do that. We respect and honor that father, that husband, that brother, that somebody's son. Should we do that? I think that's what we should do. Okay, now when you've got real abuse, we need to make sure that we are holding our police force accountable. You guys need to get to learn your state constitutions and our overall constitution and the truth about it all. So you know that you're what enemy to fight, because you don't just randomly shoot because you're hitting everybody. When you're in this battle and you're just randomly shooting like that, You're killing the innocent with the guilty, and that's not what we want to do here. So again, it brings it all back to one source. And I've said this repeatedly because I give it straight. I can't give it any straighter. Family Court, CPS, DSS, Department of Social Services, if you don't know. CPS, Child Predator, Child Pedophilia, Child Protective Services, Family Court, all these nonsense, private for-profit business. Foster care, 88% of sex trafficked children come out of foster care. 88%. Forced adoption, buying children from stolen children. Buying children, adoption from stolen children. From, what does it start with? False allegations. What again is the bread and butter of this industry? False allegations, right? Now there are suicides and filicides, for anybody who doesn't know what that is. A filicide is when a mother or father kills their family, their entire family, their children and themselves, because they can't take it anymore, because they've snapped, because this system, again, we go back to the judge who rendered the orders in the first place. There was no way to climb back out of it. We do these videos and these lives to raise public awareness. We speak wherever we speak. Every door that opens, I'm there. Okay, other advocates are there. We do this so that you know that you're not alone and that we are fighting for you. We have to make a human shield around each and every individual that is suffering from the pain and suffering that this system has caused countless American families, that you guys can't even see straight to discern and to determine who's right and who's wrong anymore when you put down a victim. Please don't put down a victim, Dad, and please don't put down a victim, Mother. Please don't do that. Not on my watch. Please don't do that. Because when 3 mothers were murdered in the past week, 4 fathers committed suicide in the past week that I know of, okay? We can't be hurting one another and their families and their families' families. We have to hold the one important factor accountable, and then the rest of this will start to diminish. It will go away. Foster care kids are the ones that are shooting up schools, mind you. Foster care kids, not one family households. I know many one-parent households that raise stable, drug-free, domestic violence-free, criminal-free children who go on to be honor students, college graduates, and successful in life. Children need a consistent, pure, safe home with boundaries, love, and protection consistently. They don't need to go bouncing back and forth from a good parent to a parent that is irresponsible and a drug addict and an alcoholic and a DWI offender and a repeat criminal offender or in and out of NA and AA. No, that's not healthy for a child. Therapeutic visitation is not a good thing because it's being funded by, through, and out of your pockets, and the state and the federal funding, and it's phony, it's not real, and they're taking down information to keep you guys in a rotating door of never-ending court dates, and that's wrong. Now, I'm saying that to say that both parents are important. I'm not saying that they're not. And you notice I'm not saying gender. So let's stop. Let's stop. I'm saying this because there are things that they're doing and they're making families jump through hoops, and you can't even exist as a human being anymore. And you can't exist because you got to go pull up this order. Let's see. My week. Monday, little Johnny goes here. Tuesday, little Johnny goes there. Wednesday, little Johnny goes here. Friday, little Johnny does this. Saturday, I gotta be stressed out. Oh, I get little Johnny back. Little Johnny's not acting right. I gotta bring little Johnny back to zero again and get his life back in order and stabilize him. Now I gotta deal with the school because little Johnny's not acting right, because little Johnny witnessed things that he wasn't supposed to be around at his young age, his young impressionable age. Okay, therapeutic or visits or whatever you want to call them, whether they're supervised or not healthy. Okay, not healthy. Don't believe me? Do your research. Research Saunders. Research Myers. Research the Quincy Solution. Research the ACE studies. Research it. Don't take my word for it. Get your nose in the book and start learning. Read. Learn. Talk to counselors. The ones that you can trust, not the ones tied to the courts. So who does all this damage to all these families? Who's robbing good dads of exorbitant amounts of finances? Because the mothers I know, they're not getting child support. The mothers I know are not getting maintenance. The mothers I know are doing it on their own. The mothers I know are not getting anything, and not their children either in many cases. Just so you're aware, okay? So who goes after the good dads and that are draining their pockets and robbing their futures? And who is putting children with abusers so that mom has to have, so that the father has to have access to that woman, even though she's trying to get away from him. And what a conundrum that is. What a contradiction. When CPS comes in and a mother is with an abuser, they take the children from the mother and the abuser. Do you see how it's all twisted and backwards, and people don't know which way do I go? How do I get myself out of this? How do I get myself out of this? I can't get myself out of this. The court just did this to me and I don't know how to get out of this. I don't know how to live. But I'm trying to protect my child, but I can't because here I am. I'm twisted because the court did this to me. So when all these things happen, when we have an opioid crisis, President Trump, when we have shootings in schools through foster care, President Trump, inside our borders, when we have all kinds of drug epidemic all over the place, 1 in 3 in most of the small rural country towns. 1 in 3 heroin, 1 in 3 cocaine, 1 in 3 meth. Where do you think this is coming from? Stable homes? No, you can't have a stable home because the courts won't allow you to have a stable home. Am I saying something wrong? Am I? Really? Okay, what about this? What about this? What about the people that falsely accuse others? Do you think that only mothers falsely accuse fathers? No, it goes both ways. Or CPS wouldn't be in business like it is. Did you think of that? How about the fact that we just had a situation the other day where a child was slapped across the face, the handprint stayed on the child's face till the morning, the mother went and picked up the child, she contacted CPS and they found nothing wrong with the case even though all 3 of the children stated all the abuse that was happening in the household. How come they don't do anything when there's real abuse? How come we have so many dead and highly abused children and we don't find out about it on national media until they're dead, and then we hear about it, or until somebody's shot to death, and that's when we hear about it? Why is that? Or we hear it on social media, right? That's about it. We don't hear it on national news. They don't want these stories unless it's something that's newsworthy. It's not newsworthy until the child's dead. It's not newsworthy until the mother's charred body can't be distinguished. It's not newsworthy until the father hangs himself because he can't take it anymore. So what good are we doing when we're pointing fingers at each other? Can I ask you that? What has it solved you in the amount of time that and energy and time and energy, think of that, time and energy that you waste putting down a victim of some kind, because you're all victims. You're all victims. When we could be collaborating together and we could be doing this together, there's millions strong of us. Millions strong, and we could literally be taking this son of a bitch down. And I blame one person, and they exist in every court in America, and that person is the judge. When a judge continues to make irresponsible, despicable, endangering, life-threatening decisions like they do, okay, then they're the ones that need to be held accountable for every murder, for every suicide, for every child suicide. By the way, that comes out of, I just posted that today too. They've admitted it. It comes out of family court situations and bullying online. Children's suicides, and it's at its all-time highest. Well, logarithmically, haven't I been saying that for 2 years? It keeps compounding interest. That's what happens. As the years go by, more compounded interest, more interest, more interest, more interest, more interest. That's what happens. And it's just imploding and destroying our country. But let's look over there. Let's look and see what's happening in Mexico. Oh, what's happening in Mexico? Wait a minute. Let's see what's happening over there in France. What's happening in France? Oh my goodness, what's happening in France? Wait, where can we look now? Let's look in Asia. What's happening in Asia? What's happening in Asia? Wait. What's happening inside America every single day in these buildings called family courts? You want your answer? You want to make America great again? How about just make America great, period? You want your freedoms and your safety back? You want to stop what we see? Or do you not care? Are you enjoying your head in the sand, not caring? Because if that's who you are, then you're no good to me, okay? But if you really care about our future generations and your own children, you better wake up. That family, husband and wife and lovely family, over a fever, have yet to see their children for close to 6 weeks now, 7 weeks now. Have yet to see them. Took gunpoint, came in like a raid. Like you thought these people were, a drug cartel. In the middle of the night, daddy's holding the baby and they're gone. Like that. Not a drugged up family, not a drug cartel family, not a bad family, not a family with a criminal record, just a family. Just a family. And what are we all doing? Mocking a mother that was murdered because she deserved it? Really? Or mocking a dad because whatever? That's where we've become? It's time that we all do a moral inventory check every once in a while, clean out the gutter here, and go forward and do the right thing. Do the right thing. Okay? I just had another success story with an advocate I trained up, and now she's beating the cases and she's being respected. She's walking in. They're what do you call it? Letting her speak in everything and winning cases now. Okay, in our boot camp classes. We don't do our boot camp classes public. Once in a while I will. Once in a blue moon. I'll give you a taste of it. We do them private because we're talking about cases. We've got tons of templates. We're working on all kinds of good stuff. This system has to come down. And the only fair and just and righteous thing to do is to hold every single corrupt judge accountable. And accountability means that they're supposed to be impeached. They're supposed to be arrested. According to our laws, they're supposed to be hung in the most populated area. Hung, according to our laws. I mean, if we're going to follow the law, let's follow the law. Okay? And they're supposed to be, and then you can sue them for all the never-ending damages to the point where people can't even discern right from wrong anymore. I hope this message touches your heart. Share it like wildfire. Hopefully you understand what I'm trying to say here. Love you all and God bless.